All right, let's hope that this is working. I recorded an 8-minute video, and you know what? I think I might post it on the end of this, but the 8 minutes was blurry, and I always feel bad when my video content's bad because I really don't care about production at all. It's not the point of these, but I don't want people to feel bothered watching it because it's blurry the whole time. It was an 8-minute blurry video. Anyways, I might tack it on to the end of this just so you can hear what I was saying, but I decided to talk about something different while I re-record this. Spence and I just got off of a coaching call. So every Thursday, Spence and I both jump on to a 2-hour call. It's actually a 3-hour call, but we're there for 2 hours of it. A 2-hour call, and we coach our clients that are in our Come Alive full program. And it was so good. And I just was being reminded during our call of how when we used to coach, when we first started, we would coach and we would get really, really drained after, and we'd just be exhausted, and we'd leave the call and we'd feel like we needed to recover. Let's hope that this is even working. Is this? Let's hope it's working. I don't know. It looks kind of blurry. Let's hope that it's not. Anyways, we'd get off calls and we would be really, really drained. And being drained after you're doing things is a sign that you're self-reliant, that you're not being reliant on the Holy Spirit. And a lot of the times that shows up in codependency, feeling like you need to be something to someone, feeling like you need to turn on or perform or be the smart one or the wise one or whatever the expectation is that you're putting over yourself. It ends up actually draining your energy. And we have such a huge contrast over the last 2 years of doing coaching this way. There's such a huge contrast now where we get off calls, and it's always been our favorite day of the week because we love, like, coaching people is my heart, getting people connected to God, helping them get self-aware and understanding what's going on inside of them, and helping them get love into those wounds that are creating pain and cycles in their life or disconnecting them from God. That's my favorite, because the end result is getting them connected to Jesus and connected to the Father, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing. But it's so fun now getting off calls and not being exhausted and not feeling like I have to recover after. And the huge difference now is this really deep reliance on the Holy Spirit. We've had to work through a lot of our own codependency and feeling like we needed to have the answers or play like that hero thing where we can help you, we have what you need, we're going to come up with something good, and da-da-da-da-da. It's all performance, and it's not helpful for people, and it's not helpful for you. It creates codependency, and it keeps you in codependent cycles. And that's the last thing that we want. What we want is for people to learn through our coaching to build reliance on Holy Spirit. And we love doing that by leading by example. And so in our calls, it's been so fun over the last couple of years, inviting God into it more and more, and building this equity with reliance on the Holy Spirit, building this equity with trusting God to show up and give people what they need in a moment, and Him showing up for them and encountering them in the areas that they need it. Not so that we have the answers, but so that they can get connected to, actually, God has everything that I need. And my heart and my hope is that I can get people connected to what God has already given them access to through the Holy Spirit, and helping them engage that and build trust and reliance on Him in that space, because He will ultimately change your life more than anything else can. And in the video that I'm going to tack to the end that's blurry, I'm talking about getting leadership and having people that are wise be able to see things that you can't see, and see your blind spots and help lead you further. And so if you're watching this and you're like, I want that connection with God, I don't know how to get it, it's okay to have help. It's okay to have people walk with you regardless of what that looks like. And I encourage you to not stop trying. Because life is so much, for me in my personal life and also in running Alive and Free, life has been draining in the past when I did things in my own strength. I've hit burnout, I got adrenal fatigue, I was stressed, I get super drained, and now I'm energized in the things that I'm doing because I'm having that reliance on God. And I'm not perfect at it by any means, neither is Spencer, but it's a walk and it's a journey, and it's so fun building that trust and intimacy with God. And so we want that for you. And so if you're watching this and you're like, I want more and I want help and I want to learn how to do that and I really want to get connected to God, I would encourage you to watch the next portion of this video that's really blurry. And at the end of that video, we give you next steps and what it looks like to work with us. So I hope you enjoy. Love you guys. I wanted to talk about houses today. We, a couple weeks ago, were just walking through some houses, trying to get a feel for what we liked, what we wanted, and it was really just out of wanting to dream for our lives. And we found this house that we love a lot. It was so fun, but really outdated and really overpriced, and we're like, I don't know. And as Spence and I are talking back and forth about it, we were like, you know what? In the decisions that we're making in our life, we want to invite in wisdom from people with gray hair that have some life under their belts, that have had a long history of wisdom, obviously, because that's what comes with age, but devotion to God, and people that are ahead of us in every area of life. And as we're processing about this home, and if it's a good home, and if it's wise, what makes sense, just to get a feel for what we want in life, we bring it up to our pastor, who's kind of like a spiritual dad to us, and we're inviting him into the process. We're like, okay, here's how much we make, here's how much this home is, here are all the things we'd be insecure about, here's what we think could be wise, but we don't know what wisdom is, and we're just processing really vulnerably, like transparently, like here are all of the things. What do you think? And in this process, he's giving us feedback about all of these different aspects of this home. And in this conversation, we're like, well, we'd have to remodel it. We don't know how much that costs, what that process is like, if that's like way too big of a project to take on. We don't know how to do it. We don't know what we're doing. And he's pretty much like, you know, I own a renovation company, don't you? And we're like, what? No. And so the point of this story and that background that I just gave you is that we invited him in. We had him come look at the house with us, and he walked around. He showed us where in the home there was termites, where the house was structurally sound, where tiles need to be replaced, where the concrete was broken, where you could tell that there was leak damage and things like that. And he gave an hour and a half of his time just walking through this home with us, and with his wisdom, with his experience, showing us where the house had good structural integrity and showing us where it didn't. And I felt like that was such a picture and a mirror and an example for life and process for us. I know in our journey, Spencer and I have both had a huge tendency of being independent and self-sufficient. And so for the last, 5 years for me, especially since I met Spencer, I have really tried to invite in leadership, to invite in people who are bigger than me, to invite in people who can see my blind spots and call me out on things and speak into me. And that's actually how you get wisdom outside of just the Holy Spirit. It's actually inviting in input and leadership from people who are ahead of you. And Sulane's calling and I'm getting distracted. Let me answer it. Hey, I'm in the middle of recording a YouTube video, but can I call you right after?
Yeah.
Okay, talk to you soon. Bye. My assistant, she's the best. So I've been on a journey of actually humbling myself for the last 5 years and learning how to be teachable and how to invite in wisdom and input. And whenever I haven't been able to find it in relationships, I pay for it in counseling and coaching and consulting. I've postured myself to be in a position where I'm constantly receiving and learning so I can grow. And Spence was a huge part of what introduced me to that. At one point, when we were just friends, we had talked about dating, and I freaked out whenever we were just talking about dating, because I was like, I don't even know if I like you. Like, I'm afraid. I don't want to ruin our relationship. And he's like, whoa. Like, I'm not trying to marry you. I just want to date you. And he's like, and besides, like, I don't even know if I want to be with you. Dating would be to explore. And he's like, it's a big red flag for me that you don't have any leadership in your life. It's a big red flag for me that you're the biggest, wisest person in your world. And when he said that, I was like, ugh. Oh God, you're so right. I knew he was right. And he was like, I would feel safe dating someone that had people leading her in her life, that was getting input, that had someone who knew all the different parts of your world. And him calling me out on that, really, for me, I made the decision to throw myself into always having leadership and counsel. And so that's what we're doing. And that example of having our pastor, spiritual dad, show us the home and show us where there were damages, where there were going to need to be repairs, where things were going wrong, where things were good. That's such a prophetic picture and an example of what a leader can do inside of your home, which is your body and your being, inside of your soul. It's really important to have people that are speaking into your life. People that are, you don't have to have someone that's 10 steps ahead of you, even having someone that's just a few steps ahead of you. I wouldn't have that person be my main source of leadership if they're just a step or two ahead of me, but there's still so much to glean from and learn and receive from the few steps that they've taken that you haven't yet. And so I want to just encourage you guys, if you're watching this, if you followed our channel, if you are someone who's on a journey and you're wanting to grow and be refined in life, seek Holy Spirit, obviously. Get in the Word, because the Bible is the best teacher. I'm like falling in love with the Word all over again, where even this morning I was reading James, and I'm just like, this has everything that I need inside of it right now, and it's been leaping out at me every single day. And even if you're not in that season, even if you don't understand it, even if it's been hard to get in the Word, I highly encourage you to get in the Word and let the Word refine you, but also invite in leadership, invite in wisdom. Have people that'll have the hard conversations with you. Have people that in love will share truth with you, that in love will bring loving correction into your life and to help you see the things in your life that you can't see. I promise you will grow so much faster. You will have so much healing happen like that. And there's such a gift in having just mothers and fathers. A lot of us didn't have really good experiences with moms or dads. And even if we did, we're still in need of more. And so the gift of having leadership is also having that source of fathering and mothering that enters into our heart, and it is actually healing and soothing to our soul. And that's what I'm doing, and I want that for you. And so if you're watching this and you're like, I want help, I want leadership, obviously, I highly encourage you to reach out to people in your life, to find a church, to get plugged in, to find a counselor, whatever that looks like for you. And if none of those feel like accessible options to you and you're like, I just want to grow, I want to get self-aware, I want to be connected to God, I want to figure out where my blocks are, I need healing, and I know that there are things that are disconnecting me from God, myself, and people. If that's you and you feel drawn to us, or God's putting us on your heart, then I really encourage you to pray about it first, but then to click the link below to sign up and watch our webinar. And then from there, if you want to, you could book a free call with our team member to see if our program would be a good fit for you. So I love you ladies and guys. I forget there are guys. Guys, we don't work with you yet. But I love you all. I hope you have an amazing week. If you like this video, if you got anything out of it, then throw it in the comments, like it, and share it with a friend. It really helps support our channel. Bless you guys.